Okay, let's come to an application. Okay. An application of the control volume. So consider a control volume in the surface ocean. Okay. Shown here, little sketch. This is your volume. And the only thing you see here is the top face of this volume. It's like a square. This is a square, the top volume. It's the top face of your volume. You don't see the vertical dimension here, and you don't need to see the vertical dimension here. So you only have values of horizontal wind stress at the corners of the surface of your control volume. Okay, and that's again shown here. So what is wind stress? Wind stress is a vector, and you learned all about vectors already. And shown here in a little sketch, what is a vector? It has two components, a tau x and a tau y. One is the northerly, the easterly component is the first one. The northerly component is the other one. And the direction is a little bit confusing because of the definition of wind. Wind is always defined by the direction it comes from, and this is why the errors here are a little bit reversed in direction. You just have to learn that. Okay. Okay, so we have the information on wind stresses, long-term average wind stresses at the corners here, and for example, the top left corner is called northwest. Okay, so you have two components here, and then you have the northeastern corner up here. You have southwest and southeastern corner. Okay. So you learned before that wind stresses induce Ekman volume transport. Okay, so the question is, well, in this area here, okay, and you have to imagine that you have the values of the wind stress. Does the wind stress field create Ekman pumping or Ekman suction in the? And you learned about Ekman suction before, and you know that wind stresses create Ekman transports, and it's about the question now whether there is actually these Ekman transports going across the faces of your control volume. Yeah, for example, here, if you see where the mouse is, if there's an Ekman flow from east to west, okay, or from west to east, okay, yeah, all these four faces matter now in this. All right, so here comes the next step.